Guys, we need to have a chat about curly hair gatekeeping. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I just want to talk. I've got my cup of tea, literally I do have a cup of tea, and I just wanted to chat a little bit about curly hair gatekeeping, which I feel like is something that only really happens in the online curly world. I've never seen it or experienced it in real life, only online, and it's something that's pretty massive, especially on TikTok right now. And I recently did a video where I sort of green screened myself onto this other video and I was reacting to it, and I'm going to pop the video here so that you can watch it and then we can discuss.
But first, we have a sponsor for today's video. This is the Leif-n SE hairdryer. You know that I love my Leif-n Swift and I've been using one for literally years now. But I was sent the Leif-n SE and it has a powerful motor and magnetic attachments, and just like the Leif-n Swift, it has 2 power settings and 3 heat settings, as you can see me demonstrating here. But the price is a lot lower. It's Leif-n's most affordable hairdryer. And I tried it out and honestly, it works just as well as my Leif-n Swift. It's absolutely brilliant. So if you're looking for a really high quality but not damaging to your hairdryer that's going to dry your hair fast, then I definitely recommend the Leif-n SE. So it took me the same amount of time to dry my hair with this as it does with the Leif-n Swift, which is comparable to my Dyson, which I have as well. And I always reach for my Leif-n over my Dyson because I just absolutely love them. And it takes me about 10 minutes to diffuse my hair with any of my Leif-n hair dryers, either this SE or the Swift. Now with a normal regular hair dryer that I've had in the past, it's taken me up to 40 minutes to diffuse my hair. So there's a huge difference in diffusing time. And I also find the Leif-n just gives me so much volume. As you can see, I like to get my hands in towards the end of drying time and really fluff up my curls, and I get such a great voluminous results. And now is the perfect time to try one yourself because they have a Valentine's sale with 25% off. Plus you can use my code for an extra discount, which is in the description box. So let's get back to the video we were discussing.
Have you seen this viral video? This young girl making a very funny video, sort of parodying people who are absolutely determined that they have curly hair, and people tell them that, and yet, you know, they don't believe it. So she does a whole routine. But what I actually love about this video, other than the fact that this young girl is very funny, is that obviously she has straight hair, okay? Now look at everything she's doing. She's doing all the things that curly girls do to help define their curls. Now, if curly girls do this on the internet, they get told that they are forcing their curls, even if their hair looks really curly at the end. But look at all that stuff she's just done and wait and see her final result. She's actually proving the point that you can't force curls if you don't have curly hair to begin with. No matter what you do with a styling technique, it's not going to make straight hair curls. So luckily for me, I suppose this video went viral on TikTok and on Instagram, and it also did pretty well on Facebook. I did post it here on YouTube and it got, I think, 40,000 views, so nowhere near viral or anything, but still quite high for how my shorts tend to do on YouTube. But yeah, it has over 5 million views on TikTok and over 3 million views on Instagram. And it sparked a lot of conversation. And so the girl in the original video, she is on Instagram. Her name is Olivia on Instagram, and she's a young girl and she's a very funny girl. So she was making a joke. Like, the whole point of the video, as I said in my video, it's a parody, it's a comedy, it's funny. She's sort of like, she's poking fun a little bit at these videos where people do a full curly routine and at the end, you know, do they have curly hair or not? So my video wasn't really discussing whether or not what point she was intending to make, but what I did say was that it inadvertently made the point that so many of us try and make all the time, and that is that if your hair, like her hair, is straight, you can do all the things to it and all the routine. No amount of curly routine is going to give you curly hair. That was the point really that I was making, that I felt her video inadvertently made. It did open up a big conversation online, including a lot of people commenting about my curl type, saying that my hair wasn't curly, you know, all the usual stuff. Anyway, there's a whole thing about curl types.
and there is a lot of curly gatekeeping. And so there are a group of people who seem to reside mostly on the internet. Obviously they have real lives too, but they seem to come together on the internet to say that things like if your hair doesn't curl from the root, then it's not curly, it's wavy, or if your hair is straight when it's wet, then that means it's not actually curly. And then there's a lot of people who have heard this and taken it as fact and run with it, and then they in turn are on the internet commenting on people's videos saying, if your hair doesn't curl from the root, it's not curly, etc, etc. But my sort of issue with that, and my point is, who came up with this definition? Because this definition certainly wasn't around a few years ago. It's a new definition. And of course the meanings of things can change. That's why the dictionary is constantly being updated and we get new terms, new meanings for things. But just because somebody or a group of people, a small group of people, decided to impose a new definition on curly hair, that doesn't make it true, in my opinion. So I'd love to know what you guys think. Please do comment below as you're watching this video, you know, just your train of thought, what you think, because I'd love to know what you think, because it's not something I've really seen on YouTube so much. There's definitely subjects that are in a bit of a bubble on different social media platforms, and this is definitely a thing on TikTok, and it is also on Facebook, and to a lesser degree on Instagram. I haven't really seen it on YouTube, so I'm interested to know what you think as a YouTube watcher. But what was funny in that video is that there were a lot of people commenting and saying, yes, you can force curls, because what about perms? And of course that's not really what we were talking about. Perms is like a chemical treatment. It's actually restructuring the hair and doing damage to the hair, of course, to create this artificial curl. So we weren't talking about perms, and we're not talking about overnight curls, heatless curls, or using a curling tongue, because of course all of those are going to create curls in your hair. But what we're talking about is doing a curly routine, so adding products, maybe brushing your hair through, scrunching your hair, diffusing your hair. If your hair doesn't have a curl pattern or a wave pattern to begin with, then doing all those things is not going to create a curl or a wave pattern. So if somebody thinks they have straight hair and they do a curly routine and it turns out that there is a wave or a curl in their hair, it's not because you can force straight hair to be curly, it's because actually they already had that wave or curl potential there to begin with. Because whether your hair is wavy or curly or straight, it's about the shape of the follicle. And that's something that can change with hormones. Like hormones can change the texture of your hair. That's something that's definitely the case. Like when people hit puberty, when they hit menopause, when they have pregnancy, things like that can actually change the texture of your hair, as can chemotherapy. If you lose your hair and it comes back, it can come back a different texture. But those things aside, it's down to the shape of the follicle. And if your hair looks wavy or curly after doing a curly routine, that's because it already was wavy or curly, you just didn't realize. So that's something that I feel strongly that is the case. But I am always open to discussions, and I really am interested to know what you guys think on it. Back to what I mentioned earlier about the one commenter who said, your hair is wavy, I said what I said, as if they were making some very bold mic drop moment. And there was another video which just said, wash your hair, don't style it, don't add any styling products, and air dry it, and you'll see it will be wavy. So in response to that, I thought, you know what, I am up for the challenge. I'm absolutely up for seeing what happens if I do that. I've done it before, but it's been a long time. So I will share that video with you now, and you can see what my hair looks like without all the styling products and techniques, and whether or not you still think it's curly or wavy. Let's do it. Let's do it. I'm in the shower. I have washed and conditioned my hair. I squeezed out excess water with my towel, and then I just basically had it loosely in that while I got dried and dressed. Full disclosure, I brushed it with a conditioner in the shower because, you know, detangling and all that. And we're now going to air dry, so I will check back in with you through the day and we'll see how it goes. So it's starting to dry. I put on my giant cardigan because it's so cold here and my hair's wet. I can tell you it's going to be flat as a pancake, like you can see that, right? But, what's that? It's definitely not going to look like it normally looks because I always diffuse and use products, but let's see. We are getting there. My hair is still quite damp at the roots, but the ends are mostly dry. And as I predicted, it's very fluffy and frizzy. But then we do have curls in other places, so yeah, it's nearly dry. We're getting there. Okay, this lighting is a bit better.
and you can see a little bit more what we're dealing with. Okay, let's look at the back. Here's how it's looking at the back. Not the best light, but gives you a rough idea of how it looks. My hair is fully dry, giving it a little bit of a fluff, and as you can see, of course, it's frizzy and undefined because, you know, no products. But I do also still have ringlets in the same place that I had ringlets when I do a full routine, and underneath as well. This side of my hair is curlier currently, goes through stages. As you can see, I do have ringlets amongst all the really rubbish wavy sections as well. I do have a mix of waves and curls in my hair. I've always said that. But what do we think? Would you still call my hair curly, or would you say, seeing it now in its natural form without any products, what would you say? Would you say it's not curly? And so whilst I didn't love how my hair looked by the end of that process, because I prefer my hair to be styled and diffused, actually my hair was still curly. It's still curled. You can still see my hair is curly. My hair's always been a mixture of waves and curls. Even when my hair is fully styled to its best full potential, it's still going to have wavier sections and curlier sections. So I normally say that my hair is wavy curly, but I think it falls under the curly umbrella. Again, let me know what you think. But the one thing I really do enjoy about TikTok is that sort of back and forth, and how you can post a video, somebody comments, you can reply to that comment, and then they can reply, and then people can, you know, weigh in. I feel like it's a very sort of collaborative approach to creating content, and it's a lot more relaxed and laid back. Like, you don't need to set up any special lighting or have anything fancy. And that is quite nice. I do enjoy that. But it is so nice to come on here and just be able to do longer videos and not have to worry about like editing things to be really short and sweet. But what is your favorite content to actually, you know, to consume content? What do you prefer? Do you prefer the YouTube long videos, or do you prefer the shorter form videos on Instagram and TikTok? I like a mixture of both. Like, there's certain types of content that I like on YouTube. Like, I like reaction videos on YouTube when they're a bit longer, and if I'm, say, like putting my makeup on, I'll set up a YouTube video. I've got just a small amount of YouTubers that I subscribe to that I like to watch, sometimes true crime, and I'll set that up, and I'm not really watching, I'm just listening as I'm doing my makeup or as I'm cleaning or something. But when I'm just sitting down to relax and want to have a little scroll, then TikTok or Instagram, it tends to be where I do that. So I prefer them on different days depending on what I'm interested in on that day. Anyway, that's besides the point. Yeah, it's been very, very interesting putting that video out and seeing people's response to it. And there's been such a mix. And one thing I did notice is that a huge section of the comments on that video on various platforms is actually people with straight hair agreeing with me and saying, this is absolutely true because my hair is straight and I have tried scrunching in a mousse, I've tried diffusing, and it falls completely straight within 5 minutes. So I thought that was interesting too. I really would like, I'm trying to think of a friend of mine who has poker straight hair, and it's actually quite hard to think of because a lot of my friends have curly and wavy hair. But I'd love to get somebody with poker straight hair and her and I do a routine, like the same routine on ourselves at the same time, and film it. I think that would be a really good longer form video, and show the difference and show that what it does to my hair and what it does to somebody with truly straight hair, just to show that it is the case that you cannot magic up curls just by doing a curl routine and diffusing. So anyway, that's my little ramble for today. I just wanted to share that with you guys on YouTube in case you're not on TikTok or Instagram and you haven't seen what's going on there. And just while I was having my cup of tea, I'm still only halfway through it, I always leave dregs in the bottom of my mug. My husband is always complaining about it because he goes to pick up, he thinks it's an empty mug and it's still got cold tea in and it gets splashed everywhere. So yeah, I always leave some tea in the bottom of my mug. It is a foible of mine, but it's been lovely chatting with you guys, and I will see you guys soon. Bye.